Yo, what is up guys, welcome to a new video. This is the first video of my new YouTube series where I'm going to explain you how to make progressive house. When I started making music, I always wanted some kind of tutorials where they explain how to make a track from start to finish, and especially in progressive house, but there weren't that much kind of these videos. You can find some, but they are more or less like 45 minutes, 1 hour videos, and the bad thing is that they do everything super fast to finally make the video and upload it to YouTube. And I always wanted a tutorial where they explain everything from start to finish, from making the chords to mixing the track to mastering the track. I wanted a really good tutorial. I wanted to see how some people makes a track, and that's what I want to do on my YouTube channel. I want to start making videos um, where I start making a new track first with the starting with the chords and the melody, and finishing with the mastering. Going through all the steps to make that, to avoid searching for a lot of sounds and spending a lot of time trying melodies and chords and so on. What I would do is make the tutorial using my track alone, but I'm not gonna just for example put the chords and say, hey, these are the chords. No, I'm going to tell you what I do to get those chords, why I use those chords and not others, why I make this kind of melody and not other melody, how to get some ideas to make melodies and so on. So don't wait more and let's go to the tutorial. Alright, so first of all, what I do when I open FL Studio is to put the BPM on 128 because this is the Progressive House BPM, and I go to the mixer channel, and on the master I disable the free telemeter because I don't want it. Now what I do is I always start everything with just a piano because I think it's the instrument where you can see really if something works. If it works in a piano, it works everywhere. So I just load FL keys because it sounds good and it works. And now's the thing, you need to choose which key you want to track. Okay, to know which key you should use, I recommend you to download the tracks you like and see which key they are. If you don't know, there are some programs that you can use like mixing key, or you can go to Beatport, and if you search the track, you will see the key is it. And here we have the Camelot wheel where all the keys has a number and a letter A or B, and this means that, for example, if we are in G minor 6A, you can mix your track with 6B, 7A, and 5A. So these four keys work well together. In progressive house, mainly, there always people that try other things, but mainly progressive house we use the inner circle. There are always minor keys, and most of the times people use A minor, G minor, and C minor, F minor, and B flat minor. This is A sharp. So we go more or less from 3A to 8A. You can always try other keys, there are no rules in making music. But if the big part of the progressive house tracks use these keys, it is maybe because it works better. Alright, so my track alone is in F minor, okay? So first of all, what I do is replace the kick or insert none, so it loads a sampler. This doesn't have any sound at all. And what I do here is click here, go to stamp, and choose the key I want. You have a lot of minor keys: harmonic minor, Unganer minor, melodic minor. For my track, I decided to use harmonic 1, and I put here, okay, the key. If you click again, you don't have the key, so you have to do this. And now what you do is to put this 8 times. I make it a bit shorter like this, okay? And why I would do this, because now if I go to FL keys, I can see the notes of the sampler, so I know if if one note is in key or not, okay? If you don't see this, you have to click Alt V and you enable the ghost notes. So now I know that, for example, this key is not in the scale. Sometimes it can work because not all minor keys have the same notes. For example, if we choose the normal minor key that in A minor are all the white notes. If we put this now on F, we can see that, for example, here we have the D sharp and we don't have E, okay? But in this one I decided to use this one. What I do now is, first of all, search for the bass line, okay? And then I will start making chords. So for example, you can start anywhere, okay? I like to start in the note of the key, that's F, but sometimes I also like to start on the fourth, in this case A sharp, okay? But let's try something. For example, you try, I don't know, imagine that you're like this, okay? So now you start making the chords. Alright, so this is the bass line I used in my track alone, okay? Sometimes I like to experiment with a bit with the chords, so to make it that simple. For example, I could just put like this, but I prefer to try other things, you know, and add more chords. Or sometimes what I do is maybe reduce this one and make this start earlier. It works well for the rhythm. So now what we have to do is to start making chords, okay? So a really simple way to make chords is to leave one note between two notes, alright? So for example, one note here, this one another note, so here, this is a chord, okay? Or you leave two and here you put one, alright? So just try the things. On this particular case, I don't really know why, but I just used two notes for the chords, you know. These ones here are the same as these ones, okay? It's the same note every time, as you can see. So it's like the chord is this, and I normally use three notes because it adds more harmonics to the track, but I don't know really why I just used one. I think it worked well. I could, for example, put something like this, but I decided just to do it this way. And now we already have the chords, okay? So from here we can start making the melody, because in progressive house the important thing is the chords and the melody, you know. It doesn't really care the sound. Of course they matter, but the main important thing are the chords and the melody, in my opinion. So what I do is I load another FL keys, and if you have a melody in your head, alright, start making it here or using a piano or whatever. But if you don't have any idea, or you try things and you don't get any idea, what you can do is start making a rhythm, okay? So what I do is I play the chords, and with my piano or just in my head I try to make a rhythm that I like, alright? For example, I'm just gonna try something weird. Try something like this. It has a bit of latency because the audio settings are super high, the buffer length. If you have a piano and you start playing the notes and you hear some latency, reduce this maybe to 512 or 256 and it will work fine, okay? So finally, in my track alone, I got this rhythm. Okay, but it's just a rhythm. We need to make a melody. So I finally got this, and a really simple and good trick to make good melodies is to use the fifth. All right, if we see here on the background, we see the scale. This is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, this is the emotional key. All right, if you make your track, your melody go around that key, it will work perfectly, you know. You will have a really emotional melody. So I have this now. And this is the same, but the last bar is a bit different, because I not always, but I like to finish the whole melody with the note I started. It normally is the root key of the scale, but I felt like this wasn't enough, you know. I tried something with some leads and some basses and chords, and I felt it was a bit slower. So I wanted to make it faster and with a lot of movement. So what I decided to do is just start adding notes between the notes I already have to make it faster and have more movement. For example, these two. Before we had this, you know. So what I did is to start making a bit of changes. You know, now more or less they are this. It's the same melody because I just added these two notes here and the others are the same, but I moved it a bit so it has more rhythm, it's faster, you know, so it works better. Alright, so this is really simple. If you think that your melody is a bit slower and needs more rhythm, try moving a bit the notes, like from here to here, you know, things like that, and try adding little notes in between. Like for example this one, you can think that this is not really, it doesn't really matter if I have it or not, but as you can see it adds something, you know, it adds a bit more rhythm to the track. And here, as you can see, I have 9 bars because this one, and in the track there's a part where I decided not to use this last bar and use this one. So the melody keeps changing all the time, so it's not that repetitive. Because if you have, for example, just 4 bars and you repeat this all the track, it's really boring. If you have 8 bars where you just copy the first 4 and you change the last one, is a lot better. But in this particular case I felt like it was also really repetitive, so I decided to add last bar with a bit of difference on it. And as you can see, it ends with the root key, and in this case, for example, that is more or less the same, it ends with another note. And this one, you know, so it closes better the melody. So guys, this is the end of this tutorial. I just wanted to let you know how I start making my tracks. It's just finding the right chords and making the melody, because I think in my tracks this is the most important thing. If you want me to keep making this kind of videos and you want to know how I continue making my tracks, now what I would do, for example, is start making the drop. But if you want to see how I do it, how I choose the leads, how I choose the chords, the bass, how I work with them, how I layer the another effects, how I layer the percussions and all these things, just let me know in the comments and leave some likes. I'm not gonna say a goal of likes, you know, I'm not gonna say like leave 20 likes or something like this. I just want to see that you really want me to keep continuing this track, because I think it's a lot better than just putting the project off alone and telling what he did. So just that, guys. Leave a like, tell me something in the comments, subscribe if you're not subscribed so you don't miss any of these new YouTube series, and see you in the next video.